Mastermind, Strategist for Hire. Written by Clouds, My Head in the Clouds Not Coming Down. And read by Eleanor Elizabeth. Chapter 28. What Happens Next? Shoto adjusted his beanie one more time before entering the train station to make sure it covered all of his hair. His scar was a bit more difficult, but thankfully, in this age of quirks, it wasn't terribly odd to see someone wearing an oversized eye patch. He got a few weird looks, but no one started gasping or screaming about a member of the League of Villains, so he figured his disguise must be at least somewhat convincing. He picked a random bench within sight of the platform and sat down, reading a newspaper. He was all over the front page. He and Dabi had wanted to make an impact, so he would have been disappointed if they'd failed. Part of him wished that he was like Izuku, though, a faceless villain who could go about daily life without worrying about being arrested. Before long, a student in a UA uniform came and sat down next to him. "Do you really think it's a good idea for you to be out and about right now?" Monoma scoffed. "You might not be in 1A anymore, but you're still an idiot." Shoto rolled his eyes. Yeah, 1B is superior and all that. Spare me your superiority complex. I got enough of that from Bakugo, thank you very much. What have you got for me? Monoma shrugged. The school's being careful right now. They're planning the school festival, which my class is totally going to win, by the way. But I'm pretty sure Gentle and La Brava call disrupting that, so the league going as well would probably just get everyone caught. Other than that, I think they've started suspecting there's a traitor. They'd be idiots if they didn't, but they're looking into the teachers first, so we don't have anything to worry about on that front. How are things at the league? I heard you guys lost Kurogiri. Tough luck there. Shoto groaned. The new base is too small, and we're running low on funds. I'm pretty sure most of the money used to come from All for One, but the heroes froze a lot of his assets when they arrested him. We were doing fine still when Kurogiri was around, since he could just warp money from literally anywhere, but it's a lot more complicated now. So far we've been robbing some rich-looking houses, but a lot of them are fronts for cults and the like, so they don't have a lot of sellable assets either. Monoma looked at him like he was an idiot. With all the powerhouse quirks you've got, you're telling me you haven't even tried robbing a bank? Shoto huffed. We thought about it, but part of the reason we're so big right now is because of the ideals we embody, and those will crumble if we openly turn to petty crime. And just find a bank that does something sketchy, or whose CEO is racist or something, Monoma said haughtily. You can say you're only attacking those who go against your ideals or something, but at the end of the day, you'll still have cash. It's a win-win. Shoto thought about it for a moment. That would probably work. But how would we know which banks to attack? Monoma stood. That, my dear Shoto, is above my pay grade. Good luck. Do try not to get caught. Shoto mumbled an affirmative as Monoma hurried off to catch his train. Rob a bank, huh? If they could find the right target, it might even further their cause. He is sure that Izuku or La Brava could probably point them in the right direction if they got a cut, and that would give him an excuse to talk to Izuku again. Not that he was trying to find reasons to talk to him. Why would he do that? Either way, he got his phone out and dialed Dabi. He should probably call Shigaraki for something like this, but the guy still got on his nerves. He hadn't been allowed to play video games growing up, so half the time Shigaraki may as well have been speaking Greek for all Shoto could understand him. His brother was much easier to talk to. Don't tell me you got caught. Shoto huffed. Come on, Dabi. Try and have a little bit of faith in me. I haven't even been recognized. What? Do you want me to give you a pat on the back or something for doing your job? No, Shoto said. It's just that Copycat gave me an idea of how to get funds, and I need to talk to Izuku about it, so I won't be home for a while. You could have just said you had a date, Dabi laughed. It's not a... Wait, you've got a date? Toga had apparently stolen the phone. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't tell you because it's not a date, Shoto growled. His face was turning red, and he was starting to get strange looks. He stood up and started speed-walking out of the train station. Even if they didn't recognize him, he still didn't need an audience to his humiliation via annoying older sibling. Yeah, sure, Dabi drawled. It's not a date. Just like you don't perk up every time you hear about Mastermind on the news. Gotta hand it to you, Shoto. You sure set your sights high. Shoto groaned. Shut up. We're just friends. Sure, Dabi laughed. Well, be safe. Use protection. Then he hung up before Shoto could yell at him. Shoto glared at his phone for a long moment before checking the time and calling Izuku. He should have just gotten home from school, unless he'd let his bullies chase him around today. The phone rang a few times, and Shoto was just about to hang up when Izuku answered. Hiya, Shoto. Sorry it took me so long to answer. I had to lose my daily thugs. Shoto sighed. I don't understand why you let them bully you, Izuku. You could kill any of them without even breaking a sweat. Izuku laughed. Oh, but that wouldn't be nearly as much fun as letting them think that they're stronger than me. Besides, it's not like I don't know what I'm doing. It's all part of the plan. Shoto pouted slightly. Fine, have it your way. Still doesn't mean it makes any sense to the rest of us, genius. He paused for a moment. Hey, is there any way we could meet up and have coffee this afternoon? There was silence on the other end for a long moment. Is this about business, or is the great freezer burn asking me on a date? Shoto knew he was bright red. Business. Izuku didn't respond, and Shoto took a deep breath. But, it can be a date. I mean, if you want it to be. What I'm saying is that if you wanted to see it that way, then, I guess I wouldn't be opposed. Shoto cringed. Well, if Izuku had wanted it to be a date, he certainly wouldn't now. Oh, Shoto, Izuku said finally. You sound so cute when you're nervous. I think my habit of rambling's rubbed off on you, though. Shoto smiled sheepishly, even though he knew Izuku couldn't see it. So, about that coffee? I can make it to that new Hero Cafe on Hero Boulevard in 20 minutes. Does that work for you? Shoto looked where he was. It should only take him about 15 minutes to make it to the cafe. Yeah, that works. Okay. He could practically hear Izuku's bright smile. It's a date! And to think that Shoto had finally been starting to regain his original colour. Yeah, it's a date. See you soon, Shoto. Izuku hung up, leaving Shoto frozen, listening to a dial tone as he tried to process what had just happened. Finally, someone bumped his shoulder and yelled at him for just standing in the middle of the sidewalk like an idiot, which jarred him from his thoughts enough to get him moving again. He dialed yet another number as he walked towards the cafe. Hi, cutie, this is Himiko. He said it was a date. What am I supposed to do? Toga squealed. Oh my goodness, everyone! Our little Shoto's going on a date! Shoto, you're on speakerphone. Come on, what happened? I need details now! Slow down, Toga, Dabi groaned. You're gonna make him freeze up. He sighed. So, Shoto, what happened? I don't even know, Shoto whined. I was just trying to meet up to talk about business, and then he asked if I was asking him out. Please tell me you said yes, Twice exclaimed. You should have turned him down. I said no. What? Toga yelled. Dabi, kick some sense into your brother. Kick it into him yourself, Dabi grumbled. But seriously, Shoto, you're an idiot. Shoto groaned. I know. But then I said that I wouldn't be mad if he thought it was a date. Nice save, Shigaraki said, and everyone went silent for a long moment. What? You guys are being loud. If you didn't want me to be involved, then you should have had this conversation somewhere else. Aw, Dusty, Dabi teased. I know you cared about our dear Shoto's love life. I don't, Shigaraki denied. Like I said, you guys are just being loud. So, anyway, Shoto said. Then he gave me a time to meet him and said it was a date. So that means it's a date, right? Aw, a little Shoto's becoming a man, Himiko squealed. But what am I supposed to do? I'm gonna ruin this. You're not gonna ruin it, Shoto, Dabi said. He asked you out, so he's not just gonna drop you 'cause you're a dork. Gee, thanks. You'll do amazing, Twice yelled. He's going to hate you. You should stab him, Toga said. Tell him how cute he looks in blood.
Do not listen to anything Toga says, Shigaraki groaned. Play video games with him.
Shoto got more and more overwhelmed as they kept throwing out more and more ridiculous suggestions of how he should get Izuku to notice him.
Enough!
Spinner growled. Just be yourself, Shoto. If he didn't like who you were, he wouldn't be asking you on a date. Just go and talk to him how you always do and ignore the rest of these idiots. Good luck. He hung up and Shoto put the phone away and tried to calm his breathing. He was pretty close to the cafe now, which wasn't helping his nerves at all. He had to resist the urge to take off his hat and fix his hair. Izuku wasn't going to see that his hair was a mess, but Shoto would get caught if anyone else saw, and then he wouldn't be able to go on his date because he'd be too busy running from the heroes. He took one final deep breath before opening the door to the coffee shop. It was busy, but not terribly so. Izuku waved to him from one of the tables and held out the coffee he'd brought him. I could have bought my own coffee, Shoto mumbled as he took it. You didn't have to. Izuku laughed. I wanted to. Besides, this is a date, and I can afford to treat you. Shoto blushed again at the reminder and cleared his throat. So, how are you today? I'm good, Izuku said softly. Sorry if you didn't want this to be, No! Shoto winced at how loud he was, but it made Izuku laugh, so it must not have been too bad. I'm happy you said something. I guess I was too nervous. Izuku nodded and sipped his coffee. It makes sense. With your upbringing, I imagine it's kind of hard to openly display emotion. Shoto nodded, and Izuku gave him a bright smile. Then I'm glad I said something. So, you did say you wanted to talk shop too, right? We don't have to do that today, Shoto said. It can wait for another day. Izuku gave him a look. We're both nervous, Shoto. Business is good for breaking the ice, since it's something we're both comfortable with. Unless you'd rather sit here in a meaningless loop of endless small talk because neither of us have ever been on a date before. Wait, you've never been on a date before? Shoto said, shocked. Izuku chuckled wryly. Quirkless, remember? Turns out not many people want to date the freak of evolution. I don't think you're a freak. Izuku smiled. Thanks, Shoto. But it's okay. I get it. I'm not as evolved as the rest of you. Still, I always wished that people could see me as more than just a quirkless kid. He took a long drink of his coffee. And now they do, so it's all good. Shoto nodded and smiled. I was wondering if you knew any banks with corrupt or abusive CEOs. Our group is a little short on funds right now, but we don't want to do anything that goes against our ideals. We'll be willing to give you a cut as payment for the info. Izuku hummed. I think the real question is which banks don't have terrible CEOs at this point. I'll do some digging, though, and see what I come up with. Will you be wanting a full plan? Shoto shook his head. I don't think so. As long as the place isn't super secure, I'm pretty sure my brother and I can handle it. He can melt through most metal, and I can easily keep people from escaping. Izuku nodded. I'm so proud of you, Shoto. I was scared that you might lose your conviction after your father's death, but you seem to really be coming into your own. You really are amazing. Shoto blushed but gave a small smile. I'm not really that special, Izuku. I mean, I haven't accomplished anything compared to what you've done. You're already one of the most powerful people in Japan, and you're only my age. And you're so caring. Shoto trailed off when he realized he'd been rambling, and hesitantly looked at Izuku, who was staring at him like he'd hung the stars. It just means a lot, Shoto said. That, you were willing to help me out of that house, and help me go after what I want. I don't think I'll ever be able to repay you. Izuku smiled brightly. I don't want you to pay me back, Shoto. I want you to be happy. As long as you're living your best life, that's all I need. And that's what you're doing. So, it's perfect. Shoto smiled, an action that was becoming easier the longer he was out from under his father's thumb. Thanks for helping me. Izuku nodded. So, how are you adjusting to your life now? I can imagine it's probably kind of difficult. Shoto shrugged. I can't really go anywhere, so there's that. But I couldn't really go anywhere before either. It's just higher stakes now. Izuku hummed. That's not really what I meant. He thought for a moment. You don't have to answer this, if you don't want to. But I know that when I first made this career choice, I felt really guilty for the first few months. Has that happened to you? His eyes widened. Not that it has to, everyone's different, and it's not really good or bad, and I'm sorry if it made it seem like... Izuku, Shoto interrupted. It's fine. My brother already kind of talked to me about it, and honestly, I don't really know. I don't feel guilty for what I did, He deserved it. Even the media deserved it, because they're the ones that put him there. He shrugged. I think the hardest part's been adjusting to the idea of the future. I'm afraid that one day I'll have to hurt someone who doesn't deserve it. And then what will I do? What happens if I freeze up? If it comes down to me or them, will I be able to do what I need to stay free, Izuku looked at him softly. I understand completely. I mean, maybe not completely, because I never really had that moment of truth. Pretty much everything early on, it wasn't a matter of who deserved it as much as it was if I was capable. But maybe that's why I felt so guilty until I embraced my role. He gave a sheepish smile. Sorry I don't have anything better to tell you. This life is messy. It's always been. Probably always will be. But at least we get to make our own decisions, right? Shoto smiled and lifted his cup. I'll drink to that. Izuku laughed and raised his own. Yeah, Shoto thought. It might not be the most conventional conversation for a first date, but it suited them just fine. Hey there guys, gals, and non-binary pals. It's Eleanor, and I hope you're having a lovely day today. Okay, so how fun was this chapter? I've been waiting for us to get our full-on Tododeku vibes in this fic, and I'm so happy we're finally here. That's so cute. Also, we have our traitor revealed, Monoma. How scandalous. I don't know if I think he would, I'm like, oh, he would. But then sometimes I'm like, no. But then sometimes I'm like, he would. But let me know what you think in the comments. Would you have guessed Monoma? Would you have put him on your potential candidates for traitor? And whilst you're doing that, you could also like the video, if you liked it, and to boost my serotonin levels. And if you're not, you could subscribe, because then you'll get notified whenever I make new videos. And isn't that fun? You can also support me on Ko-Fi if you're that way inclined, or you can follow me on Spotify or Instagram, Twitter. I have those as well. You can also join the Discord. It's a great time over there. We vibin'. Also, a big thank you to everyone who asked questions for yesterday's admittedly late 2,000 subscriber Q&A/giveaway video. Fun times. I had a really good time filming it and just kind of, I don't know, actually talking to you about me and my thoughts and process and stuff. I mean, some of those questions got really self-reflective, man, and just gave me this real appreciation for kind of how far I've come in this. So thank you everyone who was watching that and who asked questions and stuff. There is a giveaway in that. I am giving away a microphone. the first one that I ever had. I recommend it so highly. Oh my goodness, I loved it so much. So, I'm trying to spread the joy. So if you want to enter that, go watch the video. It was a fun time. On another note, another little side announcement, I don't know when I'll be uploading next. Please wish me luck. I've got to go in for some dental surgery tomorrow. I mean, surgery there. I'm gonna be under anesthetics, so I'm gonna be fucked all the way up. I have instructed my partner to not let me anywhere near my phone, so I don't, do Makara tours and accidentally just upload a video whilst high on pain meds. So keep me in your thoughts. But yeah, because of that, I don't know how long I'm gonna have like big swollen mouth and like gauze and stuff in it. So we'll see how that goes. Wish me luck. I may need it. I have really severe anxiety about dentists. If you're in the Discord, you know about this because every single time I have to go to the dentist, I'm like messaging the Discord like, I'm trying not to have a panic attack in the waiting room because I get really freaked out. So thoughts and prayers. But oh my gorgeous, beautiful little cherry blossoms, until I see you again, be sure to practice some self-care. Go to bed on time. Be sure to brush your teeth so you don't have to go through horrible dental surgery like me. Eat your 5 a day and hydrate. You better be hydrating, not dehydrating, okay? And please remember that you are worthy of love and you deserve to be happy. Or else. Yes, this is a threat. And I will catch you guys laters.